Hey, Nicholas. Is it Nick or Nicholas? I think I see Nick here. So I'm going to do something a little different. Most interview prep companies will charge for a resume template in upwards of between $200 and $550. And then it'll be an extra charge for a resume critique. I'm going to do somewhere in between that. I'm going to give you a little bit of a critique since I see that you posted it here in the Facebook group, and I'm just going to do this complimentary because I see this kind of thing all the time. In the low time pilot jobs and advice group, we see people just blasting their resume out and they're soliciting advice from a bunch of people who are not where you yet want to be. And in my opinion, it's just like financial advice. That's the last person you want to be taking advice from, somebody who is not where you want to be. So let me just take a look here. It says, "Good morning, everyone. I am in the process of revising my resume after what seems to be hundreds of applications sent out with little to no response. I would appreciate some criticism and well-warranted advice of what I should adjust to refine and stand out more. Much appreciated in advance." Okay, so I have downloaded this, and I just kind of wanted to show you where you fall in the grand scheme of things. So obviously, Avic Air is a prep company, and it's one of many things we do. There is 109 lessons involved in interview prep. I just want to kind of show you that your resume is one tool of the many things that you need to do, and probably explains why you're not getting the call back. So you have to have a clean background record. You have to pick a specific company, not just any company. Think of the dating world. If you go up to a person of interest and you just say, "I don't care. I just want a girlfriend, or I just want a boyfriend, or I just want to be married. It doesn't really matter if it's you or the next person. I just want to be married." Sounds kind of silly, right? Jobs are no different. So you need to design your personal brand from day one to target a specific job so that you can find values that are in alignment. So that would be the first step. And then you have your application and interview documents. Then you have the application. Then you have to network. And then you have to be able to show your virtues and attributes and your competencies. You have to learn how to tell a good story. Then you have to learn the competencies inside of each story that you have to have included there. And you need to be able to mitigate bias throughout the entire process, build rapport and influence them to want to hire you. You are selling them something for millions of dollars of salary. So this is a very big process. You fall right here. Application and interview documents, overhaul your resume. I've got an entire course here, an hour and 31 minutes of tips on how exactly to build your resume and how to lay it out and things like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read your resume. First response, I haven't looked at it yet. This is just going to be my initial reaction, but I just wanted to show you that this is a very long process, and which is why it warrants some money, because otherwise, there's 150,000 applicants. They all need resume critique, and this could become a very big thing. So I just wanted to point out something, that there are hot spots. So when you're considering your layout, the first thing, think of a resume as a dashboard, okay? An executive summary of proof of how profitable you are to your previous employers, so that we can extrapolate and assume that you will also be profitable for our company. If your resume is just a list of duties, then you're starting off on the wrong foot, and that's probably why you're not getting callbacks. And I will review that, and we'll see if I'm correct on this. So there are hot spots in your resume where people's eyes scan. You have 8 seconds to get across the point that you're qualified for the job, that you meet the minimums and the preferences, and you are profitable, and that you're somebody that you are worth hiring. So let me go ahead and pull up your resume now. I'll make myself a little bit bigger because sometimes I talk with my hands and I try to make this a little bit interesting. So let me pull up the bigger version, and I'm not sure if you'll be able to see this on the video since I did kind of download this off the internet. But by the way, thank you for blacking out your personal information, your previous employers. That's not a bad idea to do on the World Wide Web. So Nick, let's see here. Where do my eyes first go? Total fixed wing hours, 1402. First thing that comes to my mind is that you're not an ATP. But I wonder if you're a commercial pilot. So most important information stays in the upper left-hand corner. So I need to know if you're a certified pilot. You've got 1,402 hours. That could be a private pilot. That could be a private with an instrument. I don't know yet. Now I have to think a little bit harder, and I have to scan over here and try to figure out, okay, commercial privileges, airplane single-engine land, airplane multi-engine land. Okay, so this is nice. I want to compliment you. This is nice. You do have a block of information here, a block of information here. The human eye reads top to bottom, left to right. So this is a very good place to put things. I am a fan of putting the certificates very top left. I don't care where you live just yet. So I tend to put my address on the far right corner at the top, along with the name. So I reserve this chunk over here, top right corner, for your personal information. On the top left corner, I need to know that you're a commercial pilot or an ATP, and then how many hours you have. Boom. So that would make my eye scanning a little bit nicer. So that would be good. My initial response when I get this is I see its full width, and that's like textbook style, right? So if you have a full width textbook, and think of yourself when you're in grade school, you're like, oh my God, I'm going to read this whole textbook. You get this overwhelming sense, right? So I tend to like to block this, and you don't even fill the full page here. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. I'm a fan of not. I'm a fan of making it a little smaller. So, like, for example, like this is a full width textbook, and best-selling books are typically like not as wide, right? So I would put the width of the metrics of your proof. I would have that like bestseller width of a book within this page. Okay. And I would kind of tuck that over to the right-hand side. And then on the left side, I would put all the important stuff. So I would probably stack these hours underneath of your certificates and align all of that on the left-hand side. And then next to it on the right, make sure you put a vertical bar to separate, just similar to how you have these horizontal bars. I would put a vertical bar, and I would move all of those to the right-hand side as work experience. We've bench tested this at many of the hiring events, NGPA, WAI, OBAP, all of those. I send some recruits out, and we have them put these Word document style resumes side by side with our template, and 100% of the time they choose our template. And it just really elevates the experience, so you don't feel like you're just reading another Word document textbook worth of list of job descriptions. So okay, so top is done. Move this to the right-hand side, and then put certificates first and flight time second. I noticed that you have 1402. So the first thing I'm going to be wondering as a recruiter, as an interviewer, is how long am I going to have you? What type of company do I have? And are you just using me as a stepping stone? This is a red flag to anyone who is not an airline. I'm using a dramatic pause right there on purpose. So if you're trying to find, and you didn't specify who you were trying to work for, you said hundreds of applications. So I don't know who you're trying to work for. All I can assume is that I know that I'm going to have you for 98 more hours until you have your ATP, and you're going to try to go off to a regional, which means you're probably going to be using me. And so I'm going to be wondering, what did he do up until here, and why is he looking for a job at this point? Why didn't he continue doing whatever he was doing until he get into the next phase? So if I'm like a low margin operator, like a 135 or any kind of a Part 91 operator, I'm already sensing red flags. So this is where personal brand comes in. If you really wanted to work for a 135 operator that you do qualify for, you need to prove that you're not just using me as a stepping stone. And the resume is not the proper place to do that. So if you're just sending the resume with a little blurb in an email about what you need from me, then I'm probably just going to delete it like I do with the other 15,000 applicants that I get on a weekly basis. Yeah, I said that. Okay, so you're a single engine. You got some multi-time. Okay, all this is really easy to see. How much? Okay, you got some actual Okay, you got some actual instrument time. Okay, so I'm assuming you're pretty much like a VFR, trimmed up, cross country kind of a guy. You know, half of your flight time approximately is flying straight and level. This could be another red flag from an interviewer's perspective. Okay, let's see where you actually worked. Okay, so you were a contract pilot from 2025 till current. You're actively flying for a captain for a private individual, Part 91, international and domestic flights, on a Piper Navajo and a Cirrus SR-22. This could be more impressive if you explained a little bit more about the private individual. Okay, why did that private individual pick you? That would be worth putting a bullet. I would probably shrink these two separate bullets onto the same line to give you more space there. So you could say Piper Navajo, comma, SR-22, and then put a bullet or two down here about the unique type of a scenario this is. Okay, or is this just your buddy? We don't know. Pilot, Piper Super Cub. Okay, so I tend to put the aircraft down into the body, and I would probably put all of this on one line. And also, what type of pilot? You know, are you a VFR pilot? Are you Part 91? Are you Part 135? I would put that here with your actual job title, and then put the Super Cub down here on the first line, just like I do with all of the. You need to have a little bit of consistency here. Pilot in command conducting survey operations throughout the state of Florida and the USA. First responders for disaster assessment. Okay, so you're a first responder? Are you a EMT? Are you a EMS pilot? Is this an EMS company that also does survey? I'm confused. Special use airspace operations. Low operations in adverse condition or operations in adverse conditions, low altitude, perform all operations adhering to FAA regulations and safety standards. You have a period here, none up here. You got some periods here, random periods. I'm just kind of skimming for grammar. You have to have sentence fragments, but they have to be more of like data driven, right? So sole occupant performing all duties pertaining to data collection. So sole occupant, what are you trying to do? I need to know where you're going. If you're looking for a multi-crew position, this is a red flag. If you're applying to a single pilot IFR operation, this is an enhancement to your resume. So it depends on where you're going. Put yourself in the interviewer's shoes for where it is you want to go. Thing is, you don't know where you want to go. You just want a job. You want a job that pays more than this guy's paying you, apparently, right? So make a couple of different resumes depending on who you're applying to. That is a piece of advice. Pre and post flight aircraft assessment. Okay, set up and shut down survey equipment. Knowledgeable in the operations of LiDAR and optical sensors. Okay, so this is all one bullet. I like it. I really like these last two. Merge them into one. I would say something like operation. So do you operate this while you fly? Are you flying and operating the LiDAR? Are you the operator of the LiDAR? Did you start out as a LiDAR operator and then move your way to a pilot? Like I have those types of questions. The low altitude and I need to know why it is you're trying to say this. Does this mean that you're good at control manipulation? What is it that you're selling here? Right? Are you selling controllability, maneuverability, your speed sense? I'm trying to like picture why, because this is a risky behavior, and it appears that you're proud of it because it's on your resume. So yeah, it looks like you're overusing the word operations as well. Again, this is initial gut. This is my first time reading this. And I wanted to kind of give you my a recruiter's reaction, so to speak. Perform all operations to FAA regulations and safety. So here's what I do. Think of the cookie test. Okay, so read the line out loud and then respond with, do you want a cookie? Think of that for a second, Nick. Okay. And if it's kind of like, if it makes you laugh, like, yeah, probably should have put something different, then just delete it all together or reword it. Okay. Now, if you say, do you want a cookie? And I was like, yeah, actually, I deserve a cookie. And everybody else knows I deserve a cookie for doing this. Okay. So here's what I would do. How many hours did you fly here? Did you fly 1,000 hours doing this? Right. 1,000 hours. 1,000 hours of zero incident, zero accident, safe operation under Part 91 doing survey. Performed high and low elevation surveys using LiDAR and optical sensors. I would also like to know some kind of money that you save the company. Have you ever made a good decision that maybe you took two groups of survey deployments, and you, instead of going all together, you sent one to Miami and the other one to Pennsylvania so that you could avoid a big weather system that was coming in, which saved the company $9,000 of gross Hobbs unnecessary expense, something like that. This is the proof that we would like to see here. It's like when you're an instructor, CFIs need to put how many students they've signed off, how many they've endorsed, what's their passing ratio, and what are those students doing now, and do they have any incidents or accidents and things like that. So I would love to see some percentages of your performance. These are called metrics to measure. Okay, pilot, Beechcraft Model 18. Again, I would put that down here in the body down here. There's no bullets under this. Okay, you did this for a little over a year, 135 charter operation, and passenger servicing the Bahamas. So we can expand this. I would love to know how many legs you did, how many satisfied customers did you have? How much customer retention do you have? That would be important if you're going to continue down the road of charter, like NetJets or FlexJet. It would be good to see the volume of customers, the type of customers, and maybe some customers were going to go to another operator because the interior of your plane was deteriorating, and you were able to do customer retention because of why, how did you do that? Okay, here it just looks like you did something for a year, and I'm wondering why you left. Why'd you leave that to go do this? These are my questions. Building information modeling specialist, subcontractor and owner. Okay, so it appears that you're some kind of are you an engineer? What is it that you do here? Customer meetings. I want to know why you did these things, right? You consulted and managed high-end multi-$100 million residential high-rise construction projects throughout Florida. Specialize in plumbing and electrical blueprints. Specializing. What does that mean? I built a couple houses myself. I'm struggling to figure out what this means. You create and maintain 3D models. Adhere to state codes. What value does this give these high-rise construction projects? Like, what was your actual job here? Anyway, I have questions. This looks impressive. I think there is some management skill sharing opportunity right here. I would like to see some customer service. I would like to understand more about what these meetings provided in terms of value, and why it was hard to uphold these client relations, and what specifically is it that you did here. Okay, so you went to St. Andrew's School in Boca. You speak Swedish. That's cool. Okay, skills. I don't like paragraphs at all. So turn this into like 4 or 6 bullets down here. And if you combine some of this, you'll have some extra space there. Adaptive risk management, ability to perform under stress, problem solving, project management, quality control, customer communication skills, organization skills, technical aptitude, blah, 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 blah. None of this matters. I need to figure out proof. Passion. I need to know These are personal attributes. Skills are more tangible. Okay, so like, did you complete a specific certification somewhere? This is a place where you can highlight some of your other stuff. Are you first aid responder? Were you a lifeguard before? Did you do any kind of like firearms training in the military? Or were you a gymnastics coach or a martial arts instructor or something? This is an area for you to put like higher level accolades or certificates that allude to your interpersonal communication skills rather than saying that you're a good communicator. It's like, prove that you're a good communicator. Don't just tell me that you're a good communicator. In fact, if you have any contradicting things, so technical aptitude, yet sometimes there's periods and sometimes there's not, almost makes me think that everything else could possibly be inflated as well, right? So delete this whole section altogether and put something here that actually matters in terms of, can you eat that skill? Can this be put onto paper? And put those skills down here. Okay? Unless you really want to just be funny and like, put something that's kind of funny if you have no other skills. I hope this helps. I hope this doesn't stress you out. And my advice to you is start picking a specific company and gearing your personal brand to be the best employee that they could ever hope to have. To be the best employee that will perform to the highest profitable standards that they are looking for. Okay? That's my advice. I'm hitting the stop record button now. Good luck. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you reject everything I say. And by the way, email me your revised copy if you decide to do that. Ian, that's IAN, at avocair.com. Ian at avocair.com. And let me know if you like these. And if anybody else sees this and you want me to do this for you, shoot me a message. Let me know. Maybe I'll do more.